Hi buddy, Paul back here again, this time looking at some Asian, South Korean greatness. It's time to get off the horror express and join the sequel, the follow-up, the continuation, the side story that is Train to Busan, and it presents Peninsula. Great stuff. Been looking forward to this for 4 years. 2016 was the original release of the classic action horror drama Train to Busan, and the same director's back delivering all the action, slightly less drama, but just brings that action goodness right from the off, and the frenetic zombie goodness is there for all to be seen. For me anyway, I really enjoyed this one. There's been some criticism of it, but I'd just say poo-hoo to that. It's a 7 out of 10 solid slice of good old infected zombie action creativity that's there to entertain, and that really is what it's all about. Just, as I say, I highly recommend getting in on this. Just don't pay too much attention to the ne'er-doers who are just having a dig. It's not as good, it's not this, it's not that. It's what it is, and that's what the director wanted, I believe. He is not creating a replica, which is what happens so often with Hollywood films. You get a successful film and they just remake the same darn thing, almost scene for scene, just in a different location. This is quite a lot different indeed, and I think it, going hand in hand. You put these films, the original Train to Busan with this Peninsula side by side, you watch them back to back, you're going to have just as good an experience, but two different aspects of the horror world, and I really enjoyed this. I kind of expected that I was going to, but it was just, as I say, with all the sort of negativity surrounding it. It's got bad CGI, it's got stupid acting, it looks slow in comparison, absolute nonsense. You've got to look at the films separately, and for me it's two different experiences, and I've enjoyed both of them greatly. Sure, the original with the drama elements and the action and some really strong actors, but there's nothing wrong with the actors in this one at all. But the original is that bit better. For me, the originality factor to it, it gives it a 7.5, if not as high as an 8 out of 10 for the original. This one though is a very, very satisfying, solid 7 out of 10. I could watch this one repeatedly, as I can with the original. So I do not have a problem at all. Just give it a chance. Maybe, if you're not too sure, don't go out and spend lots of money and buy it. Right now, it's just obviously been released. It's going to be its highest price point. Wait a little while, but pick it up in a few months' time. Get yourself a bargain. This one's going to work even if you buy it on DVD, to be honest with you. It's one of those bargain bin finds in a few months' time, 6 months' time, pick it up. You pick it up for £5 or so. You're going to be pleased. It's good fun action. Now, the thing about this one, this isn't just the Blu-ray release. I decided of all the ones out there, you've got nice, well, I say nice steelbook. I'm not a big fan of the steelbook edition that's been released to this. I just think it's a little bit too hokey. It doesn't show the hard action passion that the director tries to convey, but I think it does here, and even more so here with the boxed hard card slip. This one is the HMV exclusive, the first edition exclusive, limited I think to 1,000 editions. So pick this one up, and it's cheaper than the steelbook as well by about £5 or £6. You can get this one, I think this one came out about £17, whereas the steelbook sort of £22 and more depending where you pick it up from. But it's always a case of preference. I'm not here to tell you guys what you should buy. Go with what you want to get. And there's going to be a lot of people out there who are just steelbook collectors, and they're going to like the look of the steelbook. And I think there's actually the artist who's done the artwork on the steelbook for this particular release of Train to Busan Presents Peninsula. He's also done the artwork for a reissue steelbook of the original film, so you get a nice set. And I do think there's actually a sort of all three films on one, because the same director did a prequel to the original in animated form, which is Seoul Station. I should have looked it up before to remind myself. I think Seoul Station was the original. It was the film Train to Busan was crafted after. And you get all three of those again in a collector's edition steelbook. So that's something to look out for if you should be interested. But as I said, I really did enjoy this movie. Really very, very good. Just to tell you a little bit, before we look at all the extra goodies here as well, because there's some nice stuff that comes with this. Just a little bit of background about the story, just to give you an idea if you're not too sure about the storyline for this one. Train to Busan presents Peninsula. It follows on to the 2016 original Train to Busan film, and this version's set 4 years after when Busan, Seoul, South Korea is sort of fallen to the zombie-infected plague. And that country now, the peninsula, is a dark city, an apocalyptic, sort of ravaged and overrun by these infected creatures, these zombies. Now, one guy and his brother-in-law escaped by rescue boats, and you see this at the beginning of this film. So you get some great early on reminders of the frenetic zombie-infected action in a tight, close environment, because there's an attack, lots of blood, gore, all the action sort of sequences of the twisted, contorted bodies coming back infected. It turns out to be something like Boat from Busan. It's really very good, the opening sequence. Now the two refugees, they survive that, and they lock off the sort of infected in the boat. But the two refugees are sent to Hong Kong, and there's a gang there that takes advantage of their particular skills. They know how to look after each other, well, themselves, fighting wise, and there's some connection, I would say, particularly with the lead character, that he's got some military background sort of training, and probably the brother-in-law as well. But they can certainly look after themselves, and they're very good with weapons and sort of incendiary devices and what have you. But the two of them, they're sort of not really so much taken advantage of, but they're sort of co-opted by this gang, along with two others, to go back to Busan, Seoul, and the peninsula for the reason, and highly sort of no surprise why they're sent back, because they're sent back to get a hold of a truck which is full of no less than 20 million American dollars in cash in bags. If they go back and do the job for the gang, they are promised half of that swag. So between them, they're going to get $2.5 million each. That's a real good reason to go back, even though they are absolutely terrified of doing so. But of course, greed with most of them overcomes, and the four of them are soon heading back by boat to the Busan, Seoul Peninsula area. They're led by Hero, played by lead actor Gang Dong-won, who also gets an opportunity in the movie to try and save a woman and help her two daughters that he did not help before when he had the opportunity when leaving. The peninsula, though, is overrun here by zombies, but they go in at night, and then the zombie infected are all but blind in the dark, so they have a bit of an advantage there. But predatory gangs are running the city, and they use other survivors in the area for live sport against the infected. So lots going on, lots of zombie action still, and just so much fun. It really is. Now, just to look at this one, this one comes fully uncut, 15 rated, which is probably about right. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's quite as gory as the original, less guttural, I would say, because with the drama side of it, there's more of a seriousness, obviously, to the first movie. But this one's shown as wonderful. I think it's full 2:3:9 aspect ratio. This is a Region B release, but you get some nice extras with this as well. It's worth sitting through the extras. You sort of meet the cast and the director, who, if I've not mentioned earlier, is the original director of the original film as well. But he's bringing together here a totally new cast. There's no survivors or any great connectivity to the original. This is a spin-off side story. It's after the events that happened in the train to Busan, in the Busan Seoul area, when in the original the outbreak first occurred. This is the aftermath. This is after it's settled, but the zombies are just everywhere, and they really are the majority force in the peninsula area. So it's very apocalyptic, and the cinematography here, that's one of the things that really disappoints me with the naysayers of this one. They're criticising the CGI and some of the action and the sort of flimsiness of it. I totally disagree. I think that they've missed the point here, because the CGI actually integrates perfectly for an in-game sort of type feel. And I'm not a gamer, but you can see what the director has intended, and the high-speed sort of console game playing like fun experience is here in those moments with this CGI. And I think it's quite excellent. I think that CGI, if you're spending time watching just for the CGI and picking holes in it, you're not experiencing the film, and that's sad. You know, you've got to have fun with the film. Let that wash over you. Just enjoy the experience. And I think that those that enjoy the game playing, the PS5 just been released, and Xbox and what have you, you've got that quality of in-game playability. It's like that in this film. So you've got the best of both worlds. You really do. But the ravaged city creativity, the cinematography, is absolutely fantastic right from the off. I mean, the darkness, the apocalyptic vision, all of these sort of discarded, crashed cars, derelict buildings, and there's some good horror scenes in this film as well. You've got this dark scene with the hero who shines a torch up the side of a building of glass and suddenly realises it's not derelict at all, but there's a complete swathe of bodies, living dead bodies pushing to get out. It's quite startling, and it comes back to have greater meaning later in the film as well. So again, there's a lot of thought and sort of good directorial skill involved in this one. The director, of course, is Yeon Sang-ho, and he delivers this fast-paced turn on the drama of the original and draws upon here Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead and John Carpenter's Escape from New York, without question. And there's a great nod at the end of the film in the climax, the thrilling climax of Mad Max. You really do get great value for money here, you really do. And as I say, with the extras as well, you've got some nice cards here. Sort of collector's cards of the characters and a couple of action scenes from the film as well. So there's a lot going on. You know, let's just look on the back. It's just nicely connecting to the film. Wonderful stuff, good clean, and they're good hard card quality as well. They're not flimsy at all. That's the lead character, lead actor. Here's the very nice, charming young mother. Very good support actress. She can kick some zombie ass as well. And here's the other sort of supporting character, the brother-in-law. Again, he gets put in a pit with zombies and has to survive. Great sort of almost sort of Fight Club type scenario, but with sort of infected zombies. Just what you want. I mean, you're buying a film like this, surely you've got to know what you're going to get into. It's high gloss B movie type brilliance. It really is, and you know, that's what you want to go in for. You know you're going in for it, so please don't expect it to be some Hollywood sort of rehash but $100 million plus, you're not going to get that. But you know, from my point of view, you don't want it. This is South Korean originality, fun, high thrust action goodness of the highest order. It really is. There's no cards here of the two young girl support actresses. One's about 6 or 7, I would say, but for me, the probably 13, 14-year-old young actress that's in this one, she is just kick-ass. She can drive. She just turns the car around the ravaged apocalyptic city. So cool. Again, it's like, you know, she's learnt from playing video games, but boy, is she so good. She shows up the adults for what driving can really do when you put your foot to the pedal. Great little actress. There's a nice poster that comes with this one as well. Escape the Apocalypse in Train to Busan presents Peninsula. And there we are. There's the lead actress and lead actor, and they're just fighting off the hordes. Wonderful stuff. I mean, I really had a blast with this one. I was really hoping that I would. I was not disappointed. As I say, really very good, solid 7 out of 10. Do let me know your experiences with this one if you're still looking forward to seeing it, which version perhaps you're going to pick up. But if you have seen it, let me know. Let me know. You know, it's not just a one-sided conversation. It never should be on this channel. If you tell me what your likes are, tell me what your dislikes are, and you know, put them in the comment section. And you know, we can have a good conversation about it. You know, nothing is perfect, but for me, it ticked all the right boxes, and it's 2 different types of experiences. Yes, the original, fantastic, love it. You know, that little bit more, the originality factor, the drama side of it. But I love the sort of 80s styled, 90s sort of chintz and action, over the top goodness. And when you've got the director who's clearly, he's talked about his influences, and when he talks about Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead rather than George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead, you know where he's coming from with this film. You know what he's drawn upon. And when he's drawn upon John Carpenter's Escape from New York, and he ends it with Mad Max, you know, just just the original and also the remake side of it. It's just, yeah, I think it's just brought together extremely well, and I don't have any issue with the CGI. I, like most of you guys, overall CGI can be awful. The Guillermo del Toro modern films, I've turned a couple of his films off because the CGI at the start of the film, it just totally took me out of the film, and I just did not like it at all. This is where CGI complements the film and is used for the right purposes in the right way to enhance the experience, and it definitely does it from my point of view in this movie, Train to Busan Peninsula. I just had a great blast with it. Hopefully that comes across in this video. I'm sure it does. But as I say, you know, I always enjoy hearing your experiences, good or bad, and let's have a chat about it. So please do give me your thoughts. Leave a comment, a welcome comment in the comment section. And for me, you know, I hear they're talking about doing an American remake of the original. I'll watch it, but I'm not hoping that the best from it. I'd like to see maybe another side story to this one. The director, he's got great talent in the horror action, you know, sort of scene, and he also clearly knows his stuff with animation as well. So maybe we're going to get a big budgeted South Korean animation horror story from him sometime soon. But till he makes the next one, I'll be there in queue waiting to see it. Let's just sign off by having a little look again at the HMV release here. Nice box set edition of an exclusive first edition of Train to Busan Peninsula. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Take care. See you all soon. Bye for now.